All right, Shalom. I'm going to start out by giving all praises, honor, and glory to Yahweh by Hashem, Yahweh Shai. Double honor to the apostle, Nels of the great millstone, and salutation to the Akims, pushing this truth throughout the four winds. All right, I'm going to tell a little brief lesson tonight on about parable speaking, if you will. All right, I'm going to start off with Mark chapter 8, verse 23 and 24. And it says, "And he took the blind man by the hand and led him out of the town. And when he had spit on his eyes and put his hands upon him, he asked him if he saw aught. And he looked up and said, I see men as trees walking." All right, let's go over the common person who really don't know the scriptures head, you know what I'm saying? But it was like it was something set to tie into other precepts to this. From now I'm gonna go to Job. I'll read verses in chapter 14, I'll read verse 7 through 9. It says, okay, I'm gonna read it, but I got a couple precepts in here that breaks off. It says, "For there is hope of a tree, and that tree is Yahweh Shai." Okay? The nation of Israel says, "For there is hope of a tree. If it be cut down, that it will sprout again." The nation of Israel fell. Through Yahweh Shai, we're going to sprout again in these last days. It says, "And that the tender branch thereof will not cease." It says, "Through the root wax, though the root thereof wax old in the earth, and the stock thereof die in the ground, yet through the scent of water it will bud and bring forth boughs like a plant." That means it really wasn't dead. Okay, it was dead for a season. A period of time it was dead. But showing you it's a parable, we're gonna go to John. In verse 38. And it says, "He that believeth on me," that's Yahweh Shai, "as the scripture has said, out of his belly shall flow rivers of living water." And that's that when you go back to we just read Job 14, 7 through 9, and in verse 9 it said, "Yet through the scent of water it will bud." And when Yahweh Shai woke us up, that was us getting that scent of water. Okay? Let me go back there to Job. Okay. Verse 9 it says, "Yet through the scent of water it will bud and bring forth boughs like a plant." And when Yahweh Shai woke us up, that was us smelling that scent of that water. And when we smelled that scent, it brought forth life. Okay? It brought forth life, and we woke up. You know, he woke us up, and everything followed after that. So those trees would be us. Okay? From there, I'm going to go to Isaiah. Chapter 61, verse 3. It says, "To appoint unto them that mourn in Zion." And we know Zion, that's a people. Okay? Like when it says Jerusalem, it's a people before a place. That's why in the next line it says to give unto them beauty for ashes. But it says that they mourn. Now, we're going to see who those trees are when we go to Ezekiel. We're going to get back to that, but we're going to go to Ezekiel 9 and 4. It says, and Yahweh said unto them, go throughout the midst of the city, throughout the midst of Israel, of Jerusalem, and set a mark upon the foreheads of them, of the men that sigh and that cry for all the abominations that be done in the midst thereof. So we sighing and crying. Okay? So that's mourning. Okay, now we go back to Isaiah 61 and 3. And it says, to appoint unto them that mourn in Zion. So that those people would be mourning, and that mark was set up on their head of the ones that sigh and cry. That means they were chosen. Those were those chosen trees that was going to get those that scent of that water to sprout up and become trees. Okay? To give unto them beauty for ashes, the oil of joy for mourning, the garment of praise for the spirit of heaviness, that they might be called trees of righteousness. Okay, so that's the men, that's basically the elect, and the 1/3. All right, it says the planting of Yahweh that might be glorified. So he basically planted seeds. Now we're gonna go into a bigger parable, okay, about those seeds being planted. Let me jump down to Matthew. We'll go to chapter 13. I'm gonna start at 3 and read through 8. Okay, it says, and he spake many things unto them in parables, saying, behold, a sower went forth to sow. Okay, that's Yahweh Shai. He went forth to sow. And when he sowed, some of the seeds fell by the wayside, and the fowls came and devoured them. Now, some of the seeds that he threw out was the nation of Israel. It was all the nation of Israel. Okay, and they were counted like seeds. Okay, seeds make things grow from the ground. Okay, but it says some of them were devoured by the birds of the air, which is the fowls. Okay, so they ate them up. That's 2/3. Some fell upon stony places where they had not much earth, and forthwith they sprung up because they had no deepness of earth. So some of them fell. You might see Israelites that get the truth, but their seed didn't have no depth to it, so it didn't stick. Like they'll get in it and they'll last for maybe 1 or 2, 3, 4 maybe, and then all of a sudden they just fall back away because they had no depth to them. Okay, it was all because they had the soil wasn't deep enough. Okay, and it says, and when the sun was up, they were scorched, and because they had no root, they withered away. And that's what happened. They withered away. They had, you know what I'm saying? It was like no depth to them. Verse 7, and some fell among thorns, and the thorns sprung up and choked them. Okay, you have Israelites come in, you know what I'm saying? They'll wake up, and before you know it, they'll be choked out with, well, I got to go to college because I got to get a better life. You know what I'm saying? I have to have more money. You know what I'm saying? And they fall away. They're being choked out by Esau's philosophies, if you will. It says, but other fell into good ground and brought forth fruit, some 100-fold, some 60-fold, and some 30-fold. And that's basically telling you, that some brothers were meant to be teachers. Some brothers were meant to be sign holders. Some brothers were meant to be readers, and that's their lot. Some brothers' job is going to be deeper than some other brothers. Okay? You might have some brothers that the Spirit deal with on a certain level, and some that it doesn't deal with on a certain level. Okay? But those main, and that's why you have order. That's why you have camp leaders. Some of those brothers that sprout up to be the leader of a camp. Okay? And that's just what it is. All the other brothers, they branching off of that one tree. Okay? From there, I'm going to go to Matthew, let me see, 7. Let me see. Okay, I'm going to go to Matthew. I'm going to go back to Matthew 3. And I'm going to go to verse 10. And it says, "And now also the axe is laid unto the root of the trees. Therefore every tree which bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire." So we understand that those seeds, that was the nation of Israel. Yahushua threw them all out. Some of them fell in good places. Some of them didn't. Okay? Now, some of the trees or the seeds, they grew and they brought forth bullshit fruit. Okay? You can't come through and be of good fruit if you're not preaching that there's not a name that you could call on to be saved. Okay? Or a false name. I'm saying, because you have a lot of wishy-washy Israelites, you know, and they have step. Okay? From now I'm gonna go back. Let me see, Matthew. I'm gonna go to chapter 7 and go down to 17. It says, "Even so, every good tree bringeth forth good fruit, but a corrupt tree bringeth forth evil fruit." And those same things you would have. Let me get verse 18 also. It says, "A good tree cannot bring forth evil fruit, neither can a corrupt tree bring forth good fruit." Okay, so the tree, you know what? Let me read verse 19 too. Pretty good little add-on. It says, "Every tree that bringeth forth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire." And that's like an order of it. Okay, your seed hit, it grew, and it brought forth bullshit fruit, which, like, people who, if something's planted, like you have a brother that's planted and he was awake by Yahweh Shem Yahushua, and he grew and he brought forth other Israelites, and like he went to them, but the message that he brought to them, they were gonna be like fruit, branches of that tree. So if you have a leader of a camp telling his congregation or his branches or his fruit that he bear forth from his tree, if he told them that the name wasn't important, they're gonna go out and do the same thing. Okay? Because that's what they learned from that tree. That tree is gonna bring forth what was planted. So if it was planted wicked, then it's going to bring forth wicked. Okay, and 19 tells you what's going to happen to that tree. Every tree that bringeth not forth good fruit is hewn down and cast into the fire. So some of those trees or people, they're going to be saved, and when those missiles hit, you're going to get I think it's Zechariah 14 and 12 or 12 and 14. They're going to be burned. They're going to be burned and standing up in a eyes consumed away in the holes, and that's what you're gonna get, because they didn't bring forth that all the way righteous fruit. Okay. Let me go to Matthew 12 now. Okay, I'm gonna get verse 21. No, I'm Salaki. I meant Jeremiah. Two and 21. It says, "Yet I had planted thee a noble vine, wholly a right seed. How then art thou turned into a degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me?" That's the nation of Israel. He planted us upright, and let me go to the blue letter real quick. Let me get Jeremiah. Go to verse 21. Okay. Now we're going to get the Hebrew for a noble vine, a choice, a species of vine, or basically it was chosen, or it was a choice vine. It was special. Okay. Let me see. Let me go back. Noble vine. Okay, so it was basically that he was asking, I planted you upright and noble. I chose you out of all the other vines to be upright and righteous. Says, how did you turn to a degenerate? Okay, and that right here is sore, turned off. Okay, so basically a failure, if you will. A degenerate is basically a failure. All right. Let me get back to Jeremiah. And it says, a strange vine unto me. Like, I planted you for you to bring forth like righteousness, but you went off and became weeds by following the other nations and their philosophies and so on and so forth. Okay, so he planted one thing and got another. That's why it has a question mark there. And it says, how then art thou turned into the degenerate plant of a strange vine unto me? Okay, so that's the nation of Israel. Planted to be special by following after other nations' God, going into captivity and all things like that. And that's what we are. That's how our people are. Okay, I'm gonna go to John. (15). We'll start at 1. Read down to 7. It says, I am the true vine, Shah, and my Father is the husbandman. Every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. And every branch that beareth forth fruit, he, purgeth it, that it may bring forth more fruit. It's like being multiplied. Or when you purge something, you cleanse it. Okay, so brother's gonna go through things, but it's gonna be for a righteous sake. Okay, when you purge something, it's to cleanse. Okay, it says Now ye are clean through the word which I have spoken unto you. Okay, because the words that I speak unto you are spirit and they are life. Okay, it says, abide in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself, except it abide in the vine. No more can ye, except ye abide in me. So we have to do all three things through Yahweh Shai. It says, I am the vine, ye are the branches. He that abideth in me, and I in him, the same bringeth forth much fruit. For without me, ye can do nothing. So that does away with your Old Testament Israelites. All right. It says, if a man abideth not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered, shriveled up, because the tree brings forth the life of the branches. All right. It says, and a man gathered them and cast them into the fire, and they are burned. So basically, all the brothers that, well, not brothers, but all the 2/3 that came in and fell out, they're going to be rounded up and they're going to be missile food. It says, if you abide in me and my words abide in you, ye shall ask what ye will, and it shall be done unto you. All right. So everything has an order. Yahweh Shai, then the elect. All right. Now I'm going to go to 2nd Esdras 5:23. It says, and said, O Lord, that bearest rule of every wood of the earth, and of all the trees thereof, thou hast chosen the one only vine. That's Israel. That's Israel. That's us. Okay? That's us. The Most High has a favorite everything. The sheep, the lily, but we're his favorite people. Okay? Go to Wisdom of Solomon. Verse 4, 5. It says, the imperfect branches shall be broken off, their fruit unprofitable, not ripe to eat, yea, meat for nothing. So they basically, the tree is nothing, and the things that come from that tree, the fruit that come from that tree, you can't eat them. They're good for nothing. Basically, like a fruit that fell, and you get like they say once you like fry chicken, it basically scores all the nutrients out of it. It tastes good as hell, but your body don't benefit nothing from it. Like a pack of noodles. Like, shit, I know brothers used to eat noodles just for the hell of it. And then we start doing some reading up on it, and your body gets absolutely no nutrients from a pack of noodles. You basically just eating plastic. Okay, I mean, it didn't benefit nothing. It hurt you more than anything. Okay. All right, I'm going to get one more scripture. I'm going to go to Ezekiel 17:24. It says, and all the trees of the field shall know that I, Yahweh, have brought down the high tree, as Esau, going to be brought down, and have exalted the low tree, and that's Israel. We're going to be brought back up. Have dried up the green tree, and have made the dry tree to flourish. I, Yahweh, have spoken and have done it. So, our place coming. All we got to do is be that tree that bring forth righteous fruit, keep enduring until the end. Hope this was edifying to you, Akims. I want to give all praise, honor, and glory to Yahweh Shem Yahushua. Double honors to the apostles and elders at Great Millstone, and salutation to Yakims. Keep holding. Shalom.